Higgins shoved 3 marbles into Eliza's mouth, then handed her a sheet of paper and ordered her to finish reading it within 1 minute. But the moment Eliza opened her mouth, she accidentally swallowed one of the marbles.
I swallowed one.
Higgins didn't care. He simply picked up another marble and forced it into her mouth again. The reason he treated Eliza like this was all because of a bet. You see, Eliza was just a poor flower seller on the streets of London, dirty, unrefined, and with a voice that grated on the ears. Higgins immediately mocked her. He said people like her should be hanged. Then he boasted about his linguistic talent, claiming that with his training, even the filthiest flower girl could be turned into a refined lady. What started as a joke, Eliza took seriously. The very next morning, she showed up at Higgins' house in her best clothes, ready to learn. The moment Higgins heard her screechy voice again, he was repulsed, but Eliza insisted. She begged him to teach her the proper London accent. Higgins tried to throw her out, but their argument was overheard by the colonel who lived with Higgins. Surprisingly, the colonel was intrigued by Eliza, so he proposed a wager to Higgins. If Eliza could pass for a lady at a high society ball within 6 months without being exposed, he would pay Higgins a hefty sum to prove his skills. Higgins accepted the bet. From that moment on, the brutal training began. Higgins stuffed glass marbles in Eliza's mouth, forcing her to repeat sounds to perfect her pronunciation. Through endless arguments and yelling, they somehow found a rhythm for learning, but the harsh training eventually broke Eliza down. She finally snapped and screamed in frustration, only to accidentally produce perfect London diction. Higgins and the colonel were thrilled. Months of grueling effort finally bore fruit. To test the results, Higgins brought Eliza to a grand society ball. When she stepped into the ballroom, graceful and poised, everyone assumed she was a daughter of nobility. First, she managed to keep up conversations, relying on the carefully rehearsed lines Higgins taught her. But as the discussions deepened, Eliza began to falter, and her true self slowly slipped through. She started blurting out vulgar street slang.
Come on, Dover! Move your bloomin' arse!
The guests were shocked. It didn't take long before everyone realized Eliza was no lady of status, but an imposter. Higgins was humiliated, and Eliza's first debut in high society ended in complete failure.